Over here in the tank room with the pumps in a previous video, and I showed you a little bit of talking about how they grow and the mounds come up. Well, what I showed you was a small sort of mound on the ground, which was all that was left after I'd been sort of chopping away, and that was this sort of mound down here, which is not much of anything really. But if we go over this way, I can show you what they can end up being. They can end up being quite large. We do have probably 7 or 8 large ones in the rubber trees, which are over that way in the rubber tree plantation, a lot of which is underwater at the moment. But there is one up here close to the house. Now, that's quite large. That is a foot short of being as tall as me, so that's just over 5 foot, and it's enormous. And trying to get rid of them is not an easy job. Yeah, sometimes you think, oh, I'll get the tractor to come in and push those over, and the guys with tractors don't like to do it. And I'm unsure why it is, whether they don't like the ants, or whether the ants sort of crawl all over their machine, I don't know, or whether it's just a sort of a cultural thing and the ants have a purpose and you've got to share your land with them because they have benefits in nature for you. I don't know, but I'd like to get rid of that one. I really would. It's big, and there's a number of other ones same size. We just wander this way to one of the other walkways and just turn around so you can have a bit of a look. Another walkway and some more rice. We were standing over there a few minutes ago. It's over where the dam is. We'll go for a bit of a wander out here. A clong, metre deep ditch, hidden in grass and hidden in lilies. You can see some flowers over there, but you don't want to step off the walkway at this point because you go down to the waist in water. A little bit of rice that's fallen over here. You can see the heads are here. That's coming on. You can see a mixture of green and yellow. Well, when the crop is visibly yellow, then is pretty much the time you've got to start thinking, or not start thinking, you've got to start acting, because when it turns yellow, then their adhesion to the heads, the actual rice itself, the adhesion to the plant gets weaker and weaker, and wind or knocking or falling over, it'll fall off onto the ground and you won't get it. This area here, the water has drained quite well, so the machine could work in here. The machine can work in fields that have got water in them, but it's cleaner and better if there's less water. Here's our friend, Taxi, the dog. Very inquisitive, and yet, believe it or not, is still a puppy. You don't need to see that. Because it was January, February last year that she just turned up out of nowhere, and she was only weeks old, and she's not 1 year yet, and yet she's as big and more solid than the dog we believe to be her father. Very similar, all the markings, and they do have a connection. They play a lot. So we're walking down, we're about 1/3 down, and you can see here's one of the crosswalks that goes across to the road that way. In this particular patch, there was one, but it got taken out last year. But there's one further over. a bit of wood from trees and things that have been previously growing here, but were pushed over or died or whatever. It's a job that you don't get around to. I need to take those up the top somewhere, or wait till the crop's off and been ploughed, then I'll burn all this and get rid of it finally. It's just a bit of an issue trying to navigate it when you're walking down here by yourself. Well, it doesn't matter if you're by yourself or not. But we go along here, and ants' nest, believe it or not, that hump ahead of us in the ground, there was a tree there at one stage, and that did get taken out and burnt. But all of this below it around its base is an ant's nest. There's not a lot visible on the surface, but you don't stand on top of it stationary for any period of time. This is as tall as I am, because, excuse me young lady, thank you, because the ants will find you and start running up your legs. There's another crosswalk. Oops, looks like I missed that one. Bananas. We're down the back area of the farm now, coming towards the back fence line. When I first met Mem, the only dam on the property was over here. The bananas ahead of you there, the other side of that is the fence and the 90-degree bend at the bottom of the property. But where you see we've got some rice that's blown over there, which is strange really, because this is one of the most, how do you say, shielded places on the farm. There's that line of bananas, there's these trees along here that would protect it from too much wind, and yet we've got a lot of rice that's fallen there. But that particular area, that square where it's fallen, is actually where the original dam was, a small dam. But as you see, things changed. We've got the big dam and the other medium-sized dam now. Down here, the rice field, a bit of water here still. There was a drain here, and we've got bags blocking that at the moment, because after that, Mem did put in some other pipes. There's a pipe across under here, but you can't quite see it. And along the back here, well, where this rice is, that is actually the clong. That was full of water. There was about a metre of water in there, but that's gone. Clong, metre deep channel, like a canal, goes up to the bananas and goes to our left, up the fence line, all the way down to the main dam, down there. You can just see the roof of the house. More bananas and various things growing here. There's the clong going the other way. There is a pipe underneath. Oh, hang on. Maybe no, there's not a pipe underneath this one. We'll take the pump down here to drain this corner to come back to that corner, which will go down and feed the dam. This is the back border. I've cut all this. It's now like this. Before it was sort of like that. But you can freely walk here. Why did it make a difference, the cutting? Makes a difference for safety, so you can see where you're putting your feet, because the ground's not always even. Gives you a clear patch ahead of you, so that gives you a clear patch ahead of yourself, so you can confidently walk. And also, it's rural, hey? Rural Thailand. There are creatures and critters. There are snakes and so on. You don't see them regularly, but you do see them. They are here, and you have to be aware of it. Okay, so the dog's decided there's something more interesting down there than you and me, and it's taken off. So that's walkway 3. I'm counting. 1, 2, 3. That's walkway 4. We've moved along a bit. 13 rai of land. We're on the back border. Somebody else's property there. Rice off into the distance. Yep, this is farmland, guys. Walking along the edge of the Clong. And some places, things just take off and grow like billy-o, like this thing. Any hope of removing that, even if you wanted to, will be a monster job. Okay, so now this is walkway 5, and the dog's found a way across on one of the middle walkways. Straight ahead there is a green building to the left of the centre line that we're looking. That is the niece's property. That is the house of her brother. Actually, they co-own the property. Brother and sister, son and daughter of Taiwanese, one of Taiwanese deceased sisters. So that's their 3 rai. From this back border here, where the big tree we just walked past, all the way up to that house and the land it's on, the road is just the other side. That's 3 rai. Mem's farm consists of 13 rai. But I had previously cut these. When I got here, I immediately started cutting because it needed to be done. And since then, it's sort of grown up again, but to a lesser level. And it's much easier to cut and quicker to cut when it's already been cut once. So that's cool. So that side of things for us on the farm is all ready to go now. It's really just a matter of we'll be calling in the tractor it's really just a matter of we'll be calling in the harvester. When it's available. It's one of the side walkways between 5 and which we're on now, and 4 over there. I don't know what the dog's doing, but it's down there in... Maybe it's you that's making some of the rice fall over. Ah! Get out of there. Maybe not. Yeah, so their property there. There's another walkway going across. There's no fence line here, guys. This is family. Everybody knows where their property is. And we sorted out all the title deeds legally and got everything straight the way it needed to be shortly after I met Mem. So that's cool. Okay, so some random flowers. Mem had some flowers and she loves her flowers. So they got planted in here. Why? Just because she could. So even though they're not going to be used for much, they're sitting here. I really haven't cut heavily here and I haven't chopped them up. I leave them there. If she wants to cut them, she can. So we'll leave that as it is. But yeah, walking on the farm. Keep the walkways clear if you can. Gives you access to all points on the farm. Easily, quickly. Never any sort of emergency rush to go somewhere, but when you need to, you can walk through it with confidence and probably a little bit more safety for yourself, which is great. So we're coming back up the left border of the property. Left or right, that's all a case of your orientation, which way you're walking at the time, isn't it? But so this is the end of where the rice is on this property. And from here, as you know, behind those banana trees and in amongst those trees is the house, is the block where we have the old house, the new house, etc. This is the lily pond, solar pump over there. You get a bit of weed and stuff growing here, but it doesn't seem to make a lot of difference. Maybe it actually helps the aquaculture, I don't know, but yeah, we've actually had quite a lot of what they call dok bua, the flower that comes from this. That's sort of a lily. But I'd like to clean out some of that weed. I just don't know I can. We'll see what happens there. We'll work on that. Previously we had this area. I cut it all. I cut the walkway. This was as tall as the rice is on this side. So we can walk down to the niece and nephew's farm if we need to the house. Other side of the road from that is my brother-in-law's property and his house. So we're all close together. A lot of burning. Some more dead lemons. Well, they've burnt them the other day. This area that you saw in a previous video, we had the tractor come through and he ploughed all that. This stuff grows back quite quickly. There's a bit of grass there, but the cultivator will deal with that. This will all be in flowers. Once the first patch that we were just talking about has come up, then we will get something going here. We'll probably spread it a month apart. And that way the crops overlap. And we won't do this whole section in one go. We'll do it in maybe 3 blocks so that they stagger and overlap each other. It was quite overgrown here. A bit of digging and we find our hoses and things again. There was a lemon tree in here, but there's a mound which was an ant nest. Then again, ants, you've got to love them and hate them, but that's part of a rural situation, probably anywhere. Some lemon trees that looked like they were going to die and then burst out into, not bloom, but covered with leaves and things, look like they're happy again. Bananas, there's a bunch there, not a big bunch, but that'll grow and there'll be another bunch that we can eat or sell. And there's lots of those around the farm at the moment, quite a lot. And the rubber trees, this is the first patch that I cut. It won't take very much time at all, just quickly going across that with a cutter, because that's only just light growth, so that'll all get cleaned up. From this side you can see there's a bit of the water. Again, that'll go down and I'll clean up that messy area. I'm the janitor. I'm the janitor, that's one of my jobs. Yeah, so we'll get that all happening. A bit of a bare patch at this point. We lost some of the rubber trees, and that's part and parcel of it. What we need to do is to get some saplings and put those in and nurture them and probably give them a bit more love and care than we are the others, and try and get them to rush forward in their growth and infill this area. But it's our own little forest. It's nice. I like it. So that's about where we're at the moment. A morning walk on the farm. Just thought I'd keep in contact with you. This first month or so back in Thailand, I find that I have, how do you say, so much to do initially, and to be honest, carrying a camera around, and a lot of the jobs I do on the farm, is not very good for the camera. And doing the before and after shots, I should be better at that. I'll work on that. So yeah, so I haven't been very consistent in my posting, but we'll get there. As I learn more, I'll get better at it. But we're just heading back up towards the house. Might be time for a coffee, I think. I think I told you I was a coffee addict. Not as bad as I used to be, but I'll get there. We're talking about maybe some saplings of the rubber trones. Well, these here are rubber plants. There's rubber trees here, and the rubber trees drop, I guess you'd call it a nut, onto the ground. And these are just ones that have germinated. Yeah, so it's kind of a nut that falls off of the tree and falls on the ground. Here's one still on the actual tree. And there's another one beside it. So they've actually fallen to the ground, and we've got one that's growing there. Honestly, I went through here initially and I chopped everything here, but within a matter of a month, there's another couple of dozen of these guys growing. So what I should do, and probably will do, is to dig them up and put them in pots and nurture them. There's 3 or 4 just in a small area. Another one there. Over there, another 3. Probably put them in pots and nurture those up to a decent size, and then plant them out into the what do you call it, plantation, and try and fill in some of those gaps. Yeah, it's a long job, a long game, I guess is what you call it. It's going to take a while for those to grow, but those are some of the things that you do. Some plans are quite long term. They just require a bit of input. The main thing they really require is that you start. You can't finish any job till you start it, can you? That's life. And just some jobs take longer than others. So that's where we're at the moment. This morning, and there's the man who's just pulled up at the front gate delivering ice. You buy sacks of ice. Telling he's ordered ice for today. She wants it, obviously. We have all of these ice boxes, all of these cooler boxes. 1, 2 here, and there's 3 more inside there. And these are where she puts the flowers. There's another one out on the front verge there. So all of these are required for keeping the flowers fresh. Oh, maybe, maybe 4 today, huh? Okay, we want to empty this out. Song. Not take out, stay in the bag. Yeah, yeah. So there's one bag in there. It's a common sight in rural Thailand. Ice is a common thing. There's two in that one. Yeah. Okay, so put two in here too. Okay, so that's about it for now, guys. We're going to have a couple more bags of ice in there. And please subscribe. And I'll catch up in the next one. Give us some comments and likes. And we'll catch you later. Bye, guys.